The trial within a trial in the Senzo Meyiwa murder case is back at the High Court in Pretoria. Sergeant Vusumuzi Mogane will have to answer to, of course, stops that he made with Bongani Ntanzi on the day of this arrest of Bongani Ntanzi. But Mogane told the court that he drove around with Ntanzi for 17 hours while investigating other cases. Now, he's accused of being part of the officers who assaulted and coerced Ntanzi into signing a confession. eNCA's Manqoba Mchunu joins us now from Pretoria to give us the latest regarding what exactly happened yesterday and what's expected still inside court. Manqoba, a very warm good morning to you, colleague. And I suppose we'll still try to see the defense, trying to find out exactly what the motives were for Mogane with regards to him driving around for 17 hours with Ntanzi and whether or not he was part of those officers that may have allegedly assaulted and coerced him into making that confession. But what exactly happened in court?
Well, a very good morning, Dumelo. In fact, we are expecting that evidence around the movements of the police on the 19th of June in 2020 to come into sharp focus here in court, as we expect cross-examination to start with the defense expected to pose questions to Vusumuzi Mogane relating to this latest evidence. This is the evidence that the state had applied to lead just a few days ago, and ultimately the court allowing for the use of this particular evidence. It relates to a vehicle tracking report of the vehicle that was used by Sergeant Vusumuzi Mogane on the 19th of June 2020. This is the same day that accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi, had made his confession at the Moroka police station before Colonel Solomon Rapadu. And of course, there's a question as far as the 17 hours is concerned. Of course, the defense has posed question as to what happened really during those 17 hours when accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi, had been booked out. And this was a day before he made that confession. So it was on the 18th, and we understand that it was booked out from 8:30 in the morning until 2:30 in the following morning, rather, Dumelo. So there's a question around that, and this is the reason why this particular tracking report was then led as evidence in court to pinpoint exactly the movements of the police on that particular day. And yesterday we heard evidence around a trip to Pukeng. The intricate details of that particular trip, we understand now that prior to making the trip, according to the vehicle tracking report, the police had made a stop at the Moroka police station. And what Sergeant Vusumuzi Mogane says is that this was when one of his colleagues had forgotten his keys and a memory stick at that particular police station. So they then returned to Moroka police station on the afternoon of the 19th of June. And this is when they had come from court, where accused number 2 was meant to have appeared at that court. So this was new information that we got to hear when this particular report was presented to court. But he detailed the route to Pukeng that they took. They left Soweto only in the early hours of the evening, around 6:30 in the evening, which is what is contrary to what he had said previously around what time they'd left. He said they'd left from court and went to Pukeng, but we heard details that they only left around 6:30 in the evening to make their way to Northwest, where they had been going to Ntanzi's residence to look for a hoodie that had been, or that was assumed to have been in his house. This is the hoodie that investigators believed he could have possibly used on the night that Senzo Meyiwa was killed. So we got to hear the details of that, and of course also the fact that there were many speed violations. It seems as if at the time when they were making their way to Pukeng, Mogane had been driving in excessive speed. And perhaps let's take a listen to a bite of what came out in court, just to give you a sense of that testimony.
I proceeded, my lord, at 1947 to violate the speed, and I was driving near the N1 freeway in Rivonia in Sandton between 1947 and 23 seconds through to 1948 and 45 seconds. I was driving on the N1 freeway in Woodmead.
According to the movement report, from 1938, 19 hours 38, 23 up to 19 hours 47, 43 shows that you were driving in excess of the speed limit. Can you remember what the reason was?
When the vehicle is well serviced and the road is opened, my foot just goes on without me recognizing or realizing that I am exceeding the speed limit, my lord.
What was the intended destination at that point?
We were going to Puking.
I think also if body language has anything, to go by, Manqoba, just seeing, of course, Bongani Ntanzi and other accused, of course, reacting to Sergeant Mogane's testimony, you could clearly see there that they absolutely disagree with the facts and the merits of his statements. But with that being said, what else is expected to, of course, take place in court today?
Well, we're expecting that cross-examination to resume this morning. And of course, the big question is that trip that police had made to Moroka's police station. That is the second trip that Mogane had made to that particular police station. And the 2 hours that he had spent at the Moroka police station, this is something that he did not mention in his evidence in chief. So it's expected to come into sharp focus when the defense does begin their cross-examination today. In fact, when we left off yesterday, the lawyer for accused number 1 and 2, Advocate Thulani Mngomezulu, had indicated that he wanted to begin his cross-examination exactly on that point, the trip that was made from court to Moroka police station, because what the defense is contending, Tumelo, is that there was an assault that had taken place where accused number 2 was assaulted and coerced into signing a prepared document. And from the evidence that we've heard, they say the first assault took place on the 18th of June, and this is just after he'd been booked out for those 17 hours. They say he was also assaulted on the morning of the 19th of June, and this is prior to making that particular confession. But also there are also 2 other dates that the defense has requested records for. It had indicated and highlighted in court that the records for the 22nd of June as well as the 24th of June are not available, and this is because Mogane was not using that same vehicle on those particular days. So it says it wants those records to be brought in as evidence in court. These are crucial for the defense, given that the 22nd of June is the day when Bongani Ntanzi had appeared at a court in the Northwest, and the 24th of June is the day where he made that second confession before Magistrate Vivian Cronje at the Boksburg Magistrates Court. So they want to know exactly the movements of the police on those days as well, because this is where they say the assault and the torture had taken place on the 16th up until the 24th of June. This is the day Ntanzi was arrested, the 16th of June, and ultimately the 24th when he had made that particular second confession. So we're expecting a lot of tough questions to be posed at Mogane by the defense on exactly how they escorted Bongani Ntanzi. And of course, what the defense will be looking for is to try and show that there were detours that happened along this route where Bongani Ntanzi had been assaulted by the police.
The nation continues. We'll be sure to catch up with you once again, colleagues, with those developments, or at least assure our viewers of those live visuals right here on eNCA. Reporter Manqoba Mchunu out for us in Tshwane, bringing us the latest on the trial within a trial in the Senzo Meyiwa case.